God is your plan A. God is always plan A. I don't care if you have a B and a C that's showing its head. I don't care if you have a B, C, D, E, F or G or H, or how far it goes down the alphabet road all the way down to Z. God is always A. So I'm always going to go to him about everything and say, Father, if this is for me, open that door. If this is not, keep that door shut and lead me and guide me to the door that I'm supposed to be at. Now, imagine when I walked out that office that day, I noticed a building right beside it. It literally went from background to foreground. I saw the sign and it caught my attention. It definitely caught my attention. But something was like, nah, don't. Not today. You can always come back another day, but not today. So it's sitting down, it's sitting in the foreground and the background. I knew about it, I remembered it, it sat down in my subconscious, but I just didn't do anything about it right then because I wasn't being divinely led, guided, supported, and provided to do it. Okay? So I stick with the company, I stick with the client. The problem is what I just told y'all before I even shared this part of the story with you. My first week I went there, boom, I knew that wasn't a place for me. And I told them, unless they could go in there and make it better, I could not go back. They told me to take a week off, then come back and see if I could handle being there. I said, okay. I figured out in order for me to work there, I was going to have to literally cover myself from the top of my head to the sole of my feet and everywhere in between in order for me to feel comfortable being in there. Let's just leave it at that. That's what I was going to have to do in order to feel comfortable being there. And I also figured out I can't stay in here. I can't stay in here all day. I got to come in here and do my job and then excuse myself to be in my vehicle until it's time for me to go home. And so that's what I did. I began to come in, I began to do my job, I began to cover myself from head to toe, go in, do my job, come out. Then it was when it was time for me to leave, get my timesheet signed, and be on my way. I always made sure that whatever I was being told that I needed to do or asked to do, I did it. But I left it at that. But it didn't happen one time. It didn't happen two times. It didn't happen three times. It didn't happen four times. It happened about 5 times that this client refused to allow me to continue to work all my hours so I could get paid. The company was willing to pay me for the first time I went there and the client was not at home. They were willing to pay me to come back that same week, only do a couple hours, and then go ahead on home. But after that grace, after that mercy, and after that favor, I went to that house 4 times. I told you, it's 31 miles to get from where I live to the city, period. Once I get there to the city, I literally got to drive another 5 or 10 miles to get to this client. So do the math. Imagine how much I was getting paid, which I can tell you, I was not getting paid enough to pay bills. If it was not for God's grace and mercy, making ways out of no ways, my house would have done failed by now. That's just what it is. So, I literally, when I say have been staying faithful, have been continuing to keep on keeping on and all that. But now you have a perfect visual though of why I have been unhappy and why I needed a change and why I began to use the practice to get that change. That being said, I'm gonna tell you how it works. When she did it again, I took that opportunity to go up there and put in my application at that door that I had noticed that day. That's when it was heavy on me. I have seen it in my dreams. I have been thinking about it. Every time I went in the vicinity of that area, it was pulling at me. So finally, I went on and did it. Less than a few minutes later, I was guided to go fill out an application somewhere else. But I didn't have no peace about it. I didn't have peace until I went up there called the phone number that was up there, left a message to let them know I noticed that they was hiring and I was interested. And I sat there in my car just in praise and worship. Literally in praise and worship. Staying focused, staying clear. I lie to you not, in less than 5 minutes of me still sitting there, my phone rings. So now mind you, because of all the spam calls and stuff that I get on my phone, I do not answer every phone call that rings my phone. I do not answer every phone call that rings my phone. Unless I'm being divinely guided to answer that phone, I do not answer the phone because I get that many spam calls in a day. Literally from the time I wake up in the morning, all throughout the night, and all throughout the day, my phone is constantly ringing with a bunch of spam calls. But my spirit told me, and this is what I mean when I say inspired action. My spirit told me, answer the phone. So I did. I didn't recognize the number. I didn't recognize the area code and the state that it was calling from. All of it was just not right. And yet, I answered that phone. So I answer the phone. I talk to the person. They like, is this boom, boom, boom? Is this Rashonda? Boom, boom, boom. I was like, yeah, it is. They're like, okay, well, I got your message that you were interested in working. Tell me about yourself, what you're doing, what got you interested in this. So I told her, I spill it all out. Like, look, I'm filling out all the applications, all these places that claim they got clients. And then when I get there, they don't have any. Like, that's just what it is. And it's time for me to start putting in work. Like, I noticed you when I came to the same area to fill out two other applications. And so she's like, well, what happened with those applications? Like, well, nothing happened. I filled out the applications. They told me if they had something, they would give me a call, or if it was going to be an onboarding, that I was going to end up getting one, and it never happened. So now, I'm currently working for a company, but every single time I go to work, I can't work because the person's not at home or the person needs to leave. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she breaks me down, tell me everything and anything that I really need to know about the company. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I feel nothing but peace. Just like I felt peace, ease, flow, ease, joy, and glory when I went up there and I made the phone call. I felt peace, peace, peace the more she was talking and telling me about this company. And then I end up telling her about me. So then instantly she's like, well, come here tomorrow. I'm not there. Nobody's there at the office today because we all out here doing what we do. She's like, but come in tomorrow. We're going to do that. And then we'll move forward. You're going to either be working with me or you're going to be working with two other people. Excuse me, that's going to be the management. I mean, when I tell you this woman is giving me the business and telling me from top to bottom, to the rooter to the tutor, what's happening, what's going on, she's not leaving no crumbs. She's making sure that number one, they come off professional. Number two, I'm not about to say food. Number two, they telling me that this is, and they speaking God the whole time. That's another thing for me. I only want to honestly be connected to God fearing environments. If it's not a God fearing environment, I would just rather not be there. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's so much simpler and easier when you're dealing with somebody that's connected to God. When you're when I say connected, I mean clink clink. You connected to God. That means you understand. You are another believer, and you understand. I shouldn't be putting up with going through and dealing with nonsense because we both serve a no nonsense God. That's how serious that is for me. So the fact that from the time I got on that phone, God. From the time I walked into that office, God. From the time I walked into that office again on yesterday, God. You can look around the office as God. Each person you talk to is God. The music they playing in there is God. Everything is God, 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 God. And that's a yes, 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 yes for me. That's a yes, 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 yes for me. But anyway, so she tell me all that. I end up coming in the very next day, doing the application. And as soon as I walked in, I'm going to tell you again how the glory of God works. I was told what time to be there. But if y'all know your girl, As long as everything is lined up like it's need to and it's like it's supposed to, if I'm on time, I'm late. What that means is, if you tell me I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, baby, I'm going to be there at 9 o'clock. If I can help it, I might be there at 8:30 to 9 o'clock, because I want time to be able to pull up, be able to sit in my car, have the time I need to sip my little coffee, my little tea, or whatever I got with me, have time to pray, have time to just get my mind together and be focused, to set my intentions for the day, to raise my frequency and my vibration, and make sure that I'm centered and I'm grounded. So by the time I leave out my car to come into wherever it is I'm going, whether I'm just meeting you for drinks, whether I'm just meeting you to, whether I'm going to the church, whether I'm going to a job interview, or whether I'm going to the actual job, I like to be on location at least an hour and some change before, to give me the time I need to get in alignment so that I'm good through this day. It's like, so I have a peace that surpasses all understanding. And that's basically the intent.